Assassin's Creed Origins is huge, there's a lot to discover in Egypt, including world bosses, so let's talk about these enemies that roam the world in this video. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to hit the like button. I already discussed the fact that you can keep on progressing in Assassin's Creed Origins. It has an endless endgame, so it's also cool to hear that if you finish the main mission, you will still be able to roam the world and find awesome stuff like world bosses. Not only after you finish the game, but also at the beginning, since the world will be open right from the get-go. There are multiple bosses in Assassin's Creed Origins. Some are part of the main story quest, like the one we saw during the gameplay reveal at the Microsoft stage at E3. And some are part of side quests, as you see in the recently released Assassin's Creed Origins IGN first gameplay. Here you have to take down a thief that stole from you, and that thief has its own agenda, like at night he hides in a cave and during the day he runs around. You should really be able to follow him and see what he's up to, even when he's taking a pee, according to the game director. And this will also be the case for the world bosses. These enemies are not tied to quests, they are never your objective, you will just randomly encounter them. They are optional. Of course, the bosses from a quest, you need to kill them in order to finish the quest. Here you can just leave the world boss alone, but if you try and engage and beat him, you will be rewarded with new loot and of course some nice XP. Since the world is open from the beginning, this means that you can just go and look for a high level boss, try and beat him, because of course while it's still an RPG, it's also like skill oriented, so if you're just a good player, you might be able to take out a high boss to get access to great loot early. Okay, that loot has a level requirement, but it will still help you as soon as you reach that level. How the loot works is comparable with other RPGs. It's based on loot tables. Ubisoft calls it a smart loot system, so when you kill an enemy, it will give you equipment that makes sense for that enemy. An example are the guards that only carry some types of weapons because others are too big for them, so don't expect them to drop these big weapons. So the loot table for these guards includes all the possible weapons, and then when you kill them, they will only drop, for example, one, because the dice will roll and they will get one of the things that they are about to drop. I can only imagine that the same applies to the world bosses, although I don't know if you can do them again if they respawn. So of course, if they don't respawn, that would be interesting, because then you cannot get all the items from the loot table, or they might only have one special item that they always drop. That's an interesting thing that I want to ask someone from the game. Hopefully I get the chance at Gamescom to do an interview, like, do the world bosses respawn? How does that work? When we know more, I'll of course get back to you. Also interesting is of course, what kind of world bosses can we expect? Apart from the humanoid armor wearing enemies, I think that we can also expect some animals in that world boss role. Look for example at this huge war elephant, or the lions that we saw in the Mysteries of Egypt trailer. That we can kill the king of the lions or something like that, which is just an enemy that is roaming the world. And what about the huge snake? I think that the one that we saw in the trailer will be part of the main quest, but maybe as a world boss in an optional tomb, I would be down for that. We have to wait and see. I will be playing a ton of AC Origins at Gamescom, so be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on a ton of interesting gameplay and also info on the game as we move to the October 27, 2017 release date. Like the video if you did, thanks a lot for watching and goodbye.